What if just one sentence could completely change the way she sees you? Imagine making her lean in, smile slowly, and start thinking about you long after you've left the conversation. Intrigued yet? Well, it's not magic, it's science. And it all comes down to the words you choose. Forget trying to impress her with flashy gestures or expensive gifts. What if I told you that the secret to making a woman miss you isn't about being the best-looking guy in the room, but about speaking in a way that taps into her emotions, capturing her attention without even trying, ready to make her think about you without even knowing why? Stick with me, because I'm about to share 6 powerful phrases that are not tricks but tools, grounded in psychology, emotion, and timeless human dynamics. These words don't just make an impression, they create an emotional connection that lasts. Imagine this: you're in a conversation, and with just a few carefully chosen words, you spark something deep within her. No, it's not about your looks, your job, or your status. It's not even about saying what you think she wants to hear. It's about speaking to her on a level that she can't ignore, something that resonates so deeply that it changes the way she sees you. That, my friend, is the power of the right words at the right moment. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. 6 phrases that can trigger attraction, curiosity, and emotional connection, making her see you differently without you having to impress or convince her. These phrases are not gimmicks. They are rooted in psychology and human dynamics. They are tools designed to unlock a woman's deeper feelings, causing her to think about you long after the conversation has ended. So, why is this so important? Because when you understand how women connect emotionally, you no longer have to chase anyone. You can let the power of your words attract them to you. Every phrase I'm about to share with you is designed to make her feel like she's discovered something rare about you. These words don't just create attraction, they create intrigue. They plant a seed in her mind that grows long after you've left. But before we dive into these powerful words, let's make sure we're on the same page. Support this channel by hitting the subscribe button, because by doing so, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping thousands of men who are tired of feeling invisible. When we grow, we change lives, yours, mine, and theirs. Now let's get into the first phrase that will make her heart lean in, even before she knows why. Phrase 1. You have a unique way about you. I like that. Most men make the mistake of focusing solely on flattering a woman's beauty. They toss out compliments like, "You look amazing tonight," or "You're so pretty," hoping to impress her. While these compliments might seem nice, they're often shallow and formulaic. Women hear these words all the time. They don't feel special, and they don't stir any real emotions. But then there's this one sentence that changes everything. You have a unique way about you. I like that. Suddenly everything slows down. This isn't just another empty compliment. This phrase is a weapon of attraction because it doesn't simply focus on her appearance. It highlights something deeper, something unique about who she is. It speaks directly to her need for individual recognition, not just superficial attention. What's so powerful about this phrase? It's subtle, mysterious, and unexpected. Instead of telling her what you see, it opens a loop in her mind, making her wonder what exactly it is that you saw in her. What is it about me that he finds unique? Was it the way I told that story? My confidence, my laugh, my awkwardness? As she ponders these questions, she starts emotionally connecting with your words. This kind of compliment doesn't give everything away. It leaves room for curiosity. That curiosity builds a subtle but powerful tension, and tension, when done right, is pure magnetism. Now let's break this down even further. How do you use this phrase correctly without sounding cheesy or insincere? The key is in its delivery. You don't want to use this randomly or as a filler in the conversation. You need to say it at a moment when she's being herself, when you've genuinely noticed something unique about her. It's about recognizing something in her that stands out to you and sharing that recognition in a way that feels personal and meaningful. So now that you know the power of this phrase, let's talk about how it fits into the bigger picture of attraction and emotional connection. Ready to take it even further? Let's dive into the next phrase that will leave her thinking about you long after you've gone. Building from the idea of emotional depth and genuine connection, let's continue exploring how the right words can trigger that magnetic pull. We've just touched on the power of truly seeing her. Now let's look at the second phrase that will elevate your attraction game. When you find yourself in a genuine, heartfelt moment, it's not about rushing through the conversation or overthinking your words. It's about presence, about noticing the things others don't. Imagine she shares something personal, maybe a childhood memory that she's never told anyone, or her eyes light up while talking passionately about her latest project, or even a quirky joke that only someone who's paying attention would catch. In that moment you pause. You let the silence hang for a beat, allowing it to breathe. You hold her gaze, not in a way that feels uncomfortable or invasive, but with calm, steady energy that shows you're truly present. And then slowly you speak. You have a unique way about you, I like that. It's not the words themselves that hold all the power, it's how you say them. The key here is your tone. Say it as if you've just uncovered something rare, something meaningful. It's as if you've just stumbled upon a truth about her that you didn't realize until that exact moment. This is where the magic happens. The way you communicate this truth, the way your voice resonates with that newfound realization. But here's the trick. Don't rush it. Don't over-explain. Let the simplicity of the moment shine through. The magic of this phrase lies in how understated it is. You're not trying to impress her. You're noticing her in a way that feels real. And believe me, that's rare. You see, here's what no one talks about. On an emotional level, many women feel invisible. Sure, they get compliments for their looks, but how often does someone truly notice how they think, how they laugh, how they come alive when they talk about something they love? That's the missing link, and this phrase hits that spot. It's not just about her appearance, it's about her essence. It's saying, I see something in you that others overlook. I'm paying attention. And that's powerful because it's not just about making her feel appreciated. It's about making her feel seen, truly seen. And when she feels seen, she'll open up. She'll share more of herself with you. The walls she's built will begin to soften, and layers will start peeling back. You won't just be another person in her life. You'll become the one who notices the quiet parts of her, the hidden treasures that she doesn't usually reveal. The result, she'll associate you with that feeling of being deeply seen, and that connection, that emotional imprint, will stick with her longer than any flashy compliment or pickup line ever could. When you speak these words with the grounded energy of someone who genuinely sees her, she'll never forget that moment. She won't just remember what you said. She'll remember how you made her feel. Now let's take it a step further. Here's another phrase that's just as powerful, yet often overlooked by most men. It's not the typical compliment. It's the kind of statement that challenges her, sets a standard, and subtly shifts the dynamic between you. And the best part? It's genuine. It's not about flattery. It's about acknowledging a quality in her that you truly admire. Phrase 2. I like women who know what they want. At first glance, it may seem like just another compliment, but it's much deeper than that. On the surface, it sounds like you're just giving her praise, but at its core, this phrase carries a quiet challenge. It's a standard you're setting, not just for her, but for yourself as well. You're saying that you value clarity, confidence, and decisiveness. You're acknowledging her strength and independence in a way that's both subtle and powerful. For most men, especially when they're attracted to a woman, there's an instinct to seek her approval, to mold themselves into what they think she wants. But this phrase flips that script. It's not about impressing her, it's about recognizing the kind of woman you respect. And when you say it with sincerity, it communicates that you're not looking for someone who plays games or drifts through life aimlessly. You're looking for someone who knows her worth and isn't afraid to go after what she wants. And when you set this standard, it raises the bar for both of you. It doesn't push her away. It invites her to step up. It signals that you won't settle for anything less than someone who's confident, clear, and driven. This subtle challenge makes you more attractive because it shows that you're a man who knows what he wants. And more importantly, you know your value. So as you begin to implement these phrases, think about how they challenge not just her, but yourself as well. Are you ready to raise the standard in your life and relationships? Are you ready to become the kind of man who doesn't just attract, but who commands respect. Stay tuned as we continue to explore more powerful words and phrases that will elevate your connection and help you stand out. As we've seen, it's not just about impressing her with words, but aligning your actions with what you truly value. Now let's dive deeper into how to master this mindset and become the man who commands attention and admiration without having to chase. Too many men fall into the trap of trying to be everything she wants to hear. They agree with her too quickly. They smile too much. They put on an act hoping that by being sweet, funny, or charming enough, she'll choose them. But what they fail to see is that this shifts the energy. Suddenly, she becomes the prize, and he is the one chasing. He starts auditioning, proving himself, hoping that his efforts will win her favor. However, this energy, though it may seem harmless at first, becomes predictable. And, whether consciously or subconsciously, women find it boring. The balance of power tilts and she no longer feels intrigued. But when you do the opposite, when you look a woman in the eye, calm, composed, and confident, and say, "I like women who know what they want," everything changes. In that moment, you're no longer seeking her validation. You're not trying to win her over. You're simply expressing a preference, a standard that reflects who you are and what you value. This small pivot has a huge impact. The conversation shifts from, "Am I good enough for her?" to, "Is she what I'm looking for?" It's a subtle change, but one with profound results. Now, instead of chasing after her attention, she's forced to reflect on her own behavior. She starts wondering, am I coming across as confident? Do I seem like someone who knows what I want? Am I meeting his standard? This internal questioning is exactly what sparks attraction on a deeper emotional level. By saying, "I like women who know what they want," you not only show that you are selective, but you also communicate a message she doesn't hear often. You are not available to just anyone. Women deeply admire men who have clarity. Clarity of mind, clarity of purpose, and clarity in their values. When you say these words, you're demonstrating your attraction to clarity in others, which mirrors the clarity you have within yourself. This self-assuredness is what makes you strong, rooted, and reliable. It's rare and incredibly attractive, but here's where the timing is crucial. This phrase works best when she's already showing signs of decisiveness or leadership. Maybe she's confidently ordering at a restaurant, or maybe she's boldly sharing her opinions on something important. Perhaps she's openly discussing what she wants in life. That's when you drop this line. Look her in the eye, nod slightly, and say it with quiet admiration. "I like women who know what they want." Then pause. Let the words hang in the air. Don't follow it up with anything soft or apologetic. You're not saying it to win her approval. You're simply expressing what you value. When you hold this line with calm energy, it creates a subtle, yet magnetic emotional gravity that pulls her toward you. This line is also incredibly effective when she asks you what type of woman you're into. Most men might stutter, saying, "I don't really have a type, man," or "someone nice, I guess." That's vague and forgettable. Instead, when you confidently respond with, "I like women who know what they want," you do two things at once. You communicate strength and you spark a challenge. Now she'll be measuring herself against the standard you've set, but here's the key. Once you say it, you need to act in alignment with it. If she's indecisive, insecure, or flaky, don't chase. Because if you chase someone who doesn't meet the standard you've vocalized, your words lose their weight and power. To maintain your position of strength, your actions must match your words. As we see, the real test lies not in saying the right words, but in living them every day. This approach, grounded in self-respect, will set the foundation for attracting not just anyone, but the right person who aligns with your values. Now let's explore how to turn this principle into action in your everyday life, transforming the way you approach relationships and your own personal growth. Building on the idea of magnetic presence, let's dive deeper into how your words, when used with authenticity and intention, can create a lasting emotional connection with her. When you stay grounded, calm, and consistent, it has a profound effect. It's not just about talking, it's about living the standard you've set for yourself. That's when the magic begins to unfold. She'll sense the difference. It won't take long before she realizes that you're not just saying words, you're embodying them. She starts investing more in the conversation. She leans in a little further, opens up and begins to reveal herself. She wants to be seen as the kind of woman who knows what she wants, someone worthy of respect and attention. And let me make this clear. This is not about manipulation, it's about magnetism. This is a healthy dynamic, one where both people step up to each other's energy, creating a balanced, authentic connection without playing games. So, the next time you find yourself speaking, don't try to impress. Instead, speak to express your values, your truth, and this one simple phrase, "I like women who know what they want," will flip the script. No longer will you be chasing her. Instead, she'll start wondering how she can keep your interest. Now let's talk about another powerful phrase, "That's what I like most about you." It may seem simple, but don't be fooled. This phrase, when used correctly, is incredibly potent. It's the key to shifting from giving surface-level compliments to becoming a man who truly sees her. For most women, that experience is rare, emotionally rare and unforgettable. You see, most compliments women receive are focused on the obvious, their looks, their style, their smile. And yes, while those compliments feel good in the moment, they don't stick. They don't create emotional depth, they don't leave an imprint. Why is that? Because anyone can notice what's on the surface. It doesn't take skill, insight, or emotional connection to say, "You're beautiful." But what does take skill is recognizing the deeper qualities in her, the ones that others might miss. When you say, "That passion you have when you talk about your goals, that's what I like most about you," now you're operating on a whole different level. This is the difference between being forgettable and unforgettable. This phrase works because it's not just a compliment, it's a mirror, reflecting something real and meaningful about her that others may overlook. When you say it, you're not flattering her. You're acknowledging something specific that makes her feel seen and understood. And when a woman feels understood by a man, she opens up in a way she doesn't with anyone else. Let's take it even further. Imagine she's talking about her career, not just the title, but the why behind it. Maybe she lights up when talking about how she helps others, or there's a quiet intensity in her voice when she shares her ambition. Perhaps in a vulnerable moment, you see the strength behind her words. That's your opportunity. You look at her, not with excitement or hype, but with calm, grounded appreciation, and you say, "That's what I like most about you." This is where the real connection happens. By recognizing and appreciating what makes her unique, you invite her to show you more. And when you do this consistently, you create a dynamic where she's no longer just a person in your life. She becomes someone you have an emotional connection with, someone you deeply understand, and someone who now feels seen in a way she doesn't often experience. In this process, you're not just complimenting her looks or surface qualities, you're recognizing her essence, her depth, and in doing so, you create a bond that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that leaves her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Now, let's dive into the next key phrase that can elevate your connection with her even further: continuing. From the power of words and the emotional connection they can create, let's explore how a simple statement can go even further, leaving a lasting impact. Go, you care so deeply, it's real, it's rare. Now pause. Don't rush to fill the space with more words. Let the silence settle after your statement. That moment of stillness, after speaking those words, holds power. It gives her the space to truly feel what you've just said. You've done something profound in that brief exchange. You've validated something meaningful about her, something most people overlook. In that moment, you've made her feel emotionally seen. You've touched something deep inside her, creating a connection that feels rare and real. That sentence becomes a fingerprint in her memory. She won't forget it, not because it was poetic, but because it reached a part of her that most men never get close to. What makes this phrase even more powerful is that you don't overuse it. You don't throw it out there casually, nor do you say it too soon. You use it when the moment is truly genuine, when she's showing you who she really is, and you say it in a way that feels grounded and sincere. Because you see, it's not just the words that matter, it's the presence behind them. Imagine this: she's quietly helping someone, not for attention, but because it's simply who she is. Or she's showing you her drive and ambition without bragging, letting her actions speak louder than words. Maybe she opens up emotionally, revealing her vulnerability, and you see the strength behind her words. That's your cue. That's when you slow down, lower your voice just slightly and say, "That right there, that's what I like most about you." In that moment, something shifts. It's not just an emotional connection, it's magnetic. She starts to feel drawn to you, not because you gave her attention, but because you gave her recognition. This is where true connection happens. You've tapped into something that most women crave deeply, being valued for their essence, not just for their physical appearance. And if you want to know what truly sets a man apart from the rest, it's this. You made her feel emotionally significant, something most men fail to do, but you will. And here's the most beautiful part. When you say, "That's what I like most about you," you're not just giving a compliment. You're shifting her perception of herself in that moment. That is deep attraction. That is the kind of moment that lingers long after the conversation ends. Now moving on to the next powerful phrase, "I don't know if you can handle me." This phrase may sound bold, but it's not bold in the traditional sense. It's not about shouting or being brash. It's about suggesting something deeper, something intriguing. When you say, "I don't know if you can handle me," you're conveying, without explicitly saying it, that you're not just some ordinary guy seeking quick approval. You have layers, you have substance, you bring energy, standards, and perhaps even a bit of controlled chaos. It's an energy that isn't for everyone. It's a challenge. And challenges are incredibly attractive when presented with confidence and control. Most men, especially when they're attracted to a woman, try to be as open, accessible, and agreeable as possible. They present themselves like an open book, hoping that by being simple and non-threatening they'll be liked. But here's the thing. When a woman feels like she already knows everything about a man, her curiosity fades. And without curiosity, attraction fades just as quickly. But when you use this phrase, you break that pattern. You introduce a little friction in a playful, intriguing way. You're implying that you're a challenge, and this sparks something deep inside her. It ignites effort, intrigue, and emotional investment. That's exactly what you want to achieve. To spark her interest, to pull her into your world, to make her want to know more about you. And as you continue using phrases like this, you start to shift the dynamic. You're no longer simply the one chasing. You're the one setting the standard, creating a magnetic presence that she can't ignore. Let's look at how this dynamic further influences the flow of attraction as we dive deeper into the next phase. Let's rewind for a moment and think about how one phrase can completely shift the energy in a conversation. Imagine this. She's teasing you, playfully challenging you with bold remarks. Maybe she says, "I'm hard to impress," or she drops a confident line about how much she can handle or how fearless she is. That's your cue. You lean back just slightly with a knowing smile and calmly say, "I don't know if you can handle me." And then silence. Don't rush to fill the space. Let that line hang in the air for a moment. You've just flipped the dynamic. She thought she was testing you, throwing a challenge your way, but with a single sentence you turned the tables. Now she's the one wondering what it is about you that she might not be able to handle. Is it your ambition, your emotional intelligence, the way you carry yourself with confidence and depth? She doesn't know, but now she's curious to find out. This is where the power of the phrase lies. It's not just in the words you say, but in the suggestion behind them. You're hinting at the unknown, leaving her to wonder, to guess. She might even test you, pushing you further to see if you're bluffing. That's good. It means she's engaged, she's emotionally activated, and that's what you want. But here's the crucial part. You have to back it up. You can't drop, "I don't know if you can handle me," and then start acting like every other guy. You can't over-explain, chase, or seek her approval. Your behavior must match your words. You must remain calm, grounded, and unbothered by her reactions. You need to know your worth and not rely on her to prove anything to you for you to feel valuable. What you're really saying here is, "I'm not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine." You're not trying to be easy. You're here to be real. If she's after something surface level, there are plenty of options, but if she's looking for depth, challenge, and intensity, then she better be ready for that. It's not arrogance. It's selectiveness. It's confidence in your complexity, and it's magnetic. When she's intrigued enough to lean in and try to figure out what you meant, that's when the shift happens. She's now the one investing. She's stepping into your world instead of the other way around. So don't use this phrase casually. Say it when the timing is right. Deliver it with calm certainty. Let your eyes carry the weight of your words, and then let the silence sit for a moment. Watch how she reacts and observe how the dynamic shifts. Now let's move on to another potent phrase. I'm not that easy. This phrase may seem simple, but it's a powerful declaration of your value. It communicates without ego that you're not going to fall at the first sign of attention. You don't just hand out your time, attention, or approval easily. And here's why that message resonates. Most men don't realize how quickly they give themselves away. A compliment, a smile, or a flirtatious move from a woman, and they're already chasing, already trying to please. And in that moment, the value dynamic flips. She becomes the one deciding if you're worthy, while you become just another guy, trying to win her favor. But when you calmly say, I'm not that easy, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not reacting. You're not caught up in her charm or games. You're cool, centered, and unmoved, not because you don't like her, but because you know your own worth. Your attention isn't handed out just because someone shows interest. That calm resistance is magnetic. The beauty of this phrase is that it appears light-hearted on the surface, but underneath it carries an energy of discipline and selectiveness. You're making it clear, my attention, my time, my approval, it's earned. And that is intoxicating to the right kind of woman. Now, let's look at how to use this in practice. When she's teasing you, testing your boundaries, or making a flirtatious move, don't react with desperation or nervous laughter. Instead, hold your ground. Stand firm. Keep your cool, and when the time is right, let her know exactly where you stand. By doing so, you're not just changing the conversation, you're changing the way she sees you. And most importantly, you're showing her that you're a man who has boundaries, standards, and knows his own worth. As the dynamic continues to evolve, you'll find that not only is she more attracted to you, but she's also invested in seeing what comes next. This is just the beginning of turning the tables. Your energy, your words, your presence are all becoming the blueprint for how she sees you and how she connects with you. And now, with this shift in energy, let's see how you can use the next phrase to take this even further. Now let's build on that idea of confidence and presence, where the subtlety of your words speaks volumes. Imagine this. You lock eyes with her, let a playful smile slowly spread across your face, and with steady, calm confidence you say, I'm not that easy. Then you pause. Don't rush to fill the silence. Don't backtrack. Don't over-explain. Just let it sit there for a moment, and let the power of that pause work its magic. That moment right there is where the intrigue begins. Her mind starts racing. Did he just push back? Did he just resist me? Is he serious? And even if she doesn't show it on the outside, inside, there's a small flicker, a spark of emotional tension. And that tension in its purest form is attraction. Here's what you're really doing in that instant. You're setting a boundary, but you're doing it with charm. You're telling her, without saying it outright, that just because she's attractive, just because she's charming, doesn't mean she automatically gets to access you. You're letting her know that your attention, your time, your presence, they have value. And the price of that value is genuine effort, honesty, respect, and real interest. This kind of frame is rare, and only men of high value operate within it. You're not just available for anyone, and when you project that kind of standard, it sets you apart. It shows strength, control, and a sense of grounded confidence. Now, why does this approach work so well, especially in romantic or flirtatious situations? Because when a woman sees that a man has options but chooses selectivity, it signals power. It shows that he's not emotionally needy, that he's not chasing validation, that he won't crumble under pressure just because someone is paying attention to him. He's not looking for approval. He's filtering just as much as she's filtering him. When you give off this energy, fun and playful, yet calm and grounded, you become intriguing. You stand out. You become the guy who's different, the one who might have more depth than what's immediately visible. And let's be honest, mystery is magnetic. But here's the catch. Mystery without confidence can come off as insecurity. However, when you combine that mystery with calm, grounded confidence, it becomes utterly irresistible. One important note: don't treat this line as a tactic or a script. This isn't a trick to get her attention. This is an authentic expression of your mindset. You really aren't that easy. You do have standards. And when you live by that truth, when it's more than just a phrase but something that reflects your core beliefs, it will carry weight, emotional weight, real impact. So the next time she leans in too confidently, assuming she's got you wrapped around her finger without much effort, just smile gently and say, "I'm not that easy." Watch how it shifts the energy. Watch how she starts working for your attention rather than the other way around. If you master these 6 phrases, understanding not just what to say but how to say them, something shifts. Conversations will become smoother. Women will lean in, they'll listen differently, feel differently. You'll no longer be the one chasing. Instead, you'll be the one who's remembered. Because attraction is never about volume, it's all about vibe. When you speak with grounded power, your presence speaks before you even open your mouth. And if this video has helped you shift your mindset, support the mission. Hit subscribe, because this channel isn't about empty words. It's about giving you real power. With your support, we'll help reach thousands more men who are ready to stop settling and start rising.